So I'm a novice at this, and I've been learning a lot from more experienced folks on YouTube and Marco at MG Rescue. So what we're gonna do is that little doodad there. That's the slave cylinder, and yep, and it's leaking. So we're gonna give a shot at trying to replace it. I've already fiddled around with other parts in the car already. Changed the oil, drained the transmission, flushed it. So we're gonna try to fix this leak here. So that's the new slave cylinder, and we got a little hose here, replacement hose. Bought these parts. I'll provide the name of the store later. It's a little rubber doodad there. And I guess, Marco, we have to move the bleeder. Is that right?
Yep.
Because I guess when they ship it, they put it at the end, so otherwise it doesn't fit in the box.
Exactly.
And one of the mistakes apparently people make is not recognizing that it's got to be moved.
And then
to that little slot right there.
And then you can't bleed.
And then you can't bleed properly. So we're going to take care of that first. So I tried to release the little hose from this nut up here, 7/16 up top, and that's been a little challenging. I'm going to just keep the hose. It looks like it's in good shape, not really leaking there. And I am going to remove the hose once I remove the slave cylinder there. This is 9/16, so I've got that partly loose. I've got a little drain bucket there, and I'm going to just try to pull that little slave cylinder down there. See what happens.
On your stomach.
Okay, hold on. So I'm gonna okay, pull this little pin off, squeeze it and pull it.
Yeah, you need pliers, right?
Oh yeah, I need a pliers. Okay. Can't do it with my fingers. So all I do is I squeeze the butterfly end. Is that right? Yank the little butterfly thing.
Yeah. Like a bobby pin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I squeeze the end to yank it off?
One end is round and the other end is flared out.
Yep.
Grab the round end and pull like hell.
Grab the round end. Oh, not the squared end. Okay, hold on. So I got that little butterfly doodad off. You had to pull it through. And that little pin there came off. This is a little magnetic dish for the parts. So, again, I'm a novice. So anybody could be able to do this. This is a little slave cylinder now detached. That's where the little rod went through. Now I'm going to loosen these nuts here, bolts, and then take this off. Then I'm going to detach the hose. Once it's off, it'll be easier. Replace the slave cylinder, the new one, put it in, and hopefully this will not leak as much. We'll see how it goes. Okay, now I have detached slave cylinder from, yep, and I've fully detached. I'm going to clean this up here now. Undo this and replace a new one. There it is. So there's the new one. This is the old one, and we're gonna. Now, what is this called here?
Piston.
That's the piston. Okay, we're gonna reuse that. Put that in here. So we're gonna remove this little rubber booty, and this is your bleeder. And I have capped off the hose so it's not leaking anymore. So we'll see what happens here. And you said just pulls out.
And that is a bloody mess.
Yep, we're gonna clean that
We're
sucker
gonna clean
up.
that up. I'm gonna.
And again, we're here at Marco's MG Rescue in North Miami, Florida. Marco's been a real mensch in helping with all sorts of fiddling on this bee.
This needs my grinder.
Needs a little grinder? Okay. I've just taken this little rubber booty doodad off. Took the piston off, and this is the guck that was inside. Holy cow, look at this beauty. Damn. Good thing I've got gloves on. Again, I'm a complete newbie novice on this, and this is something you all should be able to do because I'm doing it. It's a beautiful thing about these cars. Just got to get in there. That's where the old master, slave cylinder. I actually don't like that term at all, but that's what it's called. That's the poop that came inside, and we're just chucking that thing. It's fully corroded. Ground down this little piston. So now we're gonna put some silicone in there, and then that just
inside here.
Yeah,
inside here is a big plunger.
Yep.
and a rubber cup,
Got it.
which creates the pressure.
Interesting. So
And
you
that's
just
it.
stick that sucker in there.
That's it. That's
And
all she wrote.
I'm gonna feel that. Oh yeah, look at that. It's definitely in there. Okay.
And this is just tight enough.
And that's the bleeder valve there. Which again, we had to switch because the box had it on the end, and I guess that's a mistake a lot of people make. So.
And it's metric.
And it's a natural one, right? So that's an interesting size. Yep. So I want to show you all, I actually failed to put the copper washer there. So that sucker is going to leak, so I'm going to undo it again, put the copper washer, hook this back up, and then put the piston through
Here's your washer.
through there. I've got all my little bits here. Washer, where's my washer there? And then the Marco's got the washer there.
Renovated washer.
Yep, so now we're gonna do this over again here. So I have my little rod in through the, I'm not sure what this piece is called, and I'm gonna put the little butterfly end to secure that in place. I've had to straighten it out in the vise, and I'm gonna just sort of thread it through, and then I've got to open her up to keep that securely in place. And yep, so I've got that in there now, and now I've got to open that up. I'm going to get some needle nose pliers, but hopefully you can see this. And again, really it's my first time with something this mechanical. I've done a few other things on the car, but it's mainly stuff that, well, pretty much like anything else, basically a screwdriver, a wrench, and what they call the BFH I've learned, and I'll spare the bad language, and you can pretty much fix this whole thing. All right. So as you can see, I have bent, oh, where am I? The little end of this little guy here, so that seems to be secure, but I just pulled it out of the cylinder, so I'm gonna have to pop that sucker back in there. Let's see if I can. There. Okay. That's in there, I suppose. Okay. Okay. We have a new subservient cylinder here. Getting with the times, I don't want to refer to it as a slave cylinder anymore. We're going to bleed it later. It's tight. Got my little butterfly doodad there and there. I've preserved the hose. I have to tighten the hose actually now. Preserve the old hose. Where is it? There. I got to tighten this hose now that it's on there, and then we're going to fill it up with fluid and then go through the bleeding process. So that's tighten the hose next. So I've got everything buttoned up underneath back in the car, and obviously there's the clutch pedal. It's going right to the floor with no resistance. Nothing. So now we got to do the bleeding process. Got to wait for my buddy Marco to get under the car, or I get under the car, and we fiddle with that little bleeder until I start to get some resistance here. But right now it's going right to the floor, so we'll see if this works out. Yep. Bleeding it. Yep, we're bleeding. A lot of fluid. Pretty clean. Not much. Yep. Okay, tell me when. Yep. 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 Okay. He's pumping up there on the clutch, and I'm going to bleed it here. Yep. 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 So I'm back home, changed the slave cylinder there, and the car is running great. We bled it at Marco's garage and back home here. Did other few things last week. New steering wheel, that was really challenging to get off. But saw some great tricks on YouTube where you lower the wheel by removing those bolts there, and then that makes it a lot easier to take this apart, get to the various components. You can take the wheel off and replace that. And while we were working at Marco's, I changed the fuel filter. Right here, this is a new one that's running clean. That was really, really messy and gross. And I've cleaned the Weber carb, new plugs, new oil filter. We're gonna get a new canister to put in. Again, I'll do that at Marco's MG Rescue. And this is the 1979 MGB. It's been a labor of love. Had a lot of fun since I've picked up the car a few months ago. A lot of cleaning, detailing, but right now this car is running really, really well. We'll probably replace the radio because I like listening to the car with just a plaque cover, and probably going to get what they call a rear boot cover here to complement the back end, since I don't actually fit in the car with the cover on, as I'm kind of tall. So anyways, this is the MG. I'm going to load this on YouTube. I'm a novice, and I was able to replace a slave cylinder. Car's working great. Really enjoying it. Thanks.